pick up Doc's revuelto. Open the door, look inside, make sure that there's nothing like I have a plotter in there, something stupid I forgot about.
Never picked up a revuelto before. I'm excited though.
I forget what his address is. Breakfast of Champions. Man, I haven't been on camera like road trip style in a while.
You nervous?
No, I do want to do another road trip though. So we're on the way to pick up Dr. M3's new car, and this is his new Lamborghini Revuelto, if I pronounce that correctly. It's the new V12 hybrid, latest and greatest technology from Lamborghini. Absolutely incredible car. I had a chance to see it yesterday at the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix. But I thought that I should give you some backstory between me and Doc. You can sort of understand how this relationship formed, and if you're into business stuff, I think that this could be interesting to you as well. So when I first started the company, I was 19, and I was just tinting windows. I had never worked on anything exotic. I had barely ever seen anything exotic, never was in a Lamborghini or anything like that, but I always loved them. I had, the poster on my wall with Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and Doc was really getting popular on YouTube at the time. So this was 2011, 2012. YouTube was really starting to blow up. Weren't a lot of automotive influencers. Doc was one of them. And he was in Pittsburgh, and I knew that. And he, at the time, I want to say he had a Gallardo. I think it was the green one. I met him at a Cars and Coffee event when Cars and Coffee was like 10 cars. I had a 944 Turbo I drove down with some friends, and I remember seeing the car, and it was like the first or second time I'd ever seen a Lamborghini in person. From that moment, I was like, I gotta get him as a customer. And he was that person for a long time. And the reason is because, I was a 19-year-old kid that just kept coming up to Doc and talking to him about his cars and trying to get his business. And somebody that's in his position gets that a lot. They kind of get pitched a lot. One thing that I always admired about Doc is he always talked to me. He never blew me off. He was never a jerk. He was always extremely respectful, and he enjoyed talking to me. So even though he didn't use me, he still was a pleasure to speak with. As fate would have it, I'm at an event in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, Corvettes at Carlisle. It was the first year I was there. I didn't know anybody. And a man named Michael that worked for Expel, who's now my best friend, was there. And I met him for the first time. He was in charge of marketing at Expel. And we hung out at his Airbnb to watch a boxing match that night. And as I was talking to Michael, he mentioned Dr. M3. He said, hey, Expel works with this guy in Pittsburgh named Dr. M3. Why don't you guys work with him? And of course, my eyes got big, and I said, what do you mean you work with him? You know him? And he said, yeah, I know him. And it was like 11 o'clock at night. I said, you know him well enough you have his number? And he said, yeah. So he called him right there on the spot, late at night. Doc answers. He explains who we are. Doc says, oh yeah, I remember talking to him. I've talked to him a handful of times. My Performante is coming in soon, and it needs window tint. And so that's the story. That's how I ended up working with Doc, is because, the universe sort of works for you. I think when you put out feelers and work towards a goal, stuff happens for you. And I met a guy that just happened to know Doc, that happened to call him, and that is what led to this relationship, and we've been working with him ever since. And let me tell you guys, if you've never met Doc, he is one of the most awesome, helpful, respectful individuals you will ever meet in your entire life. We're excited to work on this one. Congrats on the new car, Doc. So I trailer cars all the time. The idea, especially on rear-engine, mid-engine cars, you want to get the weight as far forward as possible, but also the rear door has to shut. Now, they make trailers with ramps up over the top, but you never need that, except if you're hauling really wide Lamborghinis. The Zoggo I did haul successfully with a similar situation. We've got clearance. Now, this is really scary when you're looking at it. If you drive trailers a lot, you understand stuff doesn't move. Like, for something to move an inch would be a really significant difference. There'd be a problem. For peace of mind, I guess, I'm going to shove a rag in there. I don't see there being a problem, but nothing scary about hauling a almost 7-figure car with a ½ an inch on each side of the trailer. We made it back to our LATROBE shop with the Revuelto, safe and sound. It was super tight in the trailer, but we're here. We are going to be doing a full Expel 10 mil paint protection film wrap on this. We're going to go over the top of that with a Expel Fusion 8-year coating, and then we're going to tint all of the windows with Expel Prime XR Plus. We're also going to be doing some windshield protection on this. But yeah, beautiful car. First thing I noticed getting in and out of it is how much they've changed, and Doc told me this, but it's really obvious when you're getting in and out. They made this narrower. They put some of that like in the door instead of just here. Way easier to get in and out of. Just those 3 or 4 inches on the body really make a big difference getting in and out of the car. So we're super excited to get to work on this thing. Just freaking awesome. Let's roll. Before we can start laying paint protection film in this car, we're gonna polish it. Now, typically you hear me say all the time, you don't need to polish a car before you put PPF on it. I still stand by that. That is true. It will hide swirl marks, micro scratches, things like that. With that being said, if a customer requests that we do it, we'll do it. So Doc always likes us to do that. And to be honest with you, this car is like really bad. There's a ton of swirl marks. Even standing here with no light on it, the whole roof, the whole wing, the whole rear engine cover piece here is completely swirled up. So this is a case that even if we weren't requested to do it, we would probably run a light polish over it briefly just to clean some of that stuff up. Even though you're not going to see it through the film, it's just, we're just crazy and we have to do that. It's like a part of the prep for us, but only if it's really bad. Typically we would say don't do it. So all the carbon pieces, same way. There's polishing dust and compound like tucked in, oh, here's some, in the corners on it. Basically every corner. Again, this is a almost 7-figure car. We hear every day, the car's brand new, there's no way there could be a mark on it. We call somebody and say, hey, just so you know, there's this thing on your car. They say, you're crazy, you guys did that, you're wrong. I promise you, the most exclusive, most expensive, most exotic, most incredible cars on earth show up, and they're still not up to our standards. So that's what we're doing. We'll spend the next couple hours polishing it, getting it ready before Aaron moves on to installing the film. Finished wrapping up Doc's car. What is this, the 4th, 5th car for you we've wrapped?
I think this is a 4th or 5th. It feels like forever, but you know what? I'm back here again for a reason, right? So, all right, yeah.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. So he's here to pick it up and basically give us a walk around with the car. What are the big plans for it? First thing you're going to do with it now it's protected, all that fun stuff.
Well, again, first of all, I've waited for this car for 19 months. I call it my 2 pregnancies. It's been a while, but it's awesome that it's finally here. You know, one of the things I love to do is I like to drive my cars. I don't believe in garage queens, and one of the reasons why I can do that is because of blackout tinting. They let me enjoy my passion and my dream. And so we'll drive these cars. In fact, in 2 weeks, this is going to be on a rally to DC, to Katie's Cars and Coffee. So if you guys are from the Katie's Cars and Coffee region, look out, we'll be there. And we're going to take it around a bit. We have a few shows down in Florida that we're going to take it to Boston. We're just going to drive and enjoy the car. I usually do that first before I do any mods. There's a new exhaust, though, for it that may be coming. So we'll see. Stay tuned. It's so different in character from the Aventadors that I need to get used to it. And I've driven this now, though it's been in my possession for about 2 weeks. I've driven this less than a mile. So today's drive home is going to be probably the longest we do.
I probably put more miles on it moving it around the building than you did, so, and getting it to the trailer.
One of the cool things about this color, when I first put it on my Huracan Performante, known as Purple Monte, it had only been used on 2 other Lamborghinis at that time. And one of them you probably know because it's on Instagram all the time. It's Barney. That's a Aventador SV. And the other car was a Huracan that was from Miami. And then I did it on the Performante, which I actually thought, oh my God, I bought a purple car. What the hell am I thinking? And then it shows up and it's a hit. And that car got so much visibility that, and even Lamborghini themselves and Broward will tell you that lots of people came in asking about that purple and its Viola Pacife. So that's kind of how it's kind of ended up in our family as a car. And it's just striking if you look at it and the different lights, how it changes the colors. I think the combination on this car is just spot on, and it just made sense. I almost did Zago in this color, but I think we did a better color with the green. Anyway, Josh Green.
And the first one that we ever worked on for you
And the first
was
yes,
Purple Monte.
was Purple Monte. That's right.
Yeah, we talked about that when we picked the car up, a little bit about our story, how we finally connected. So
it's like it's basically coming full circle.
full circle. So yeah.
So if you guys know me, I have a name for all of my cars, right? So the 50th anniversary is Avenger. It's a long story behind how we got there. Purple Monte was just easy. Actually, there was a blue Spider, which was called Superstorm.
Remember that.
Okay, and then there was the Purple Monte, obviously Purple Performante. Zago is just Zago because it's just so unique. And then this, you guys are hearing it first. Here, the name is Thanos. Thanos. Stay tuned.
Very nice, very nice. So you guys heard it from Doc. We really appreciate him bringing the car in. Our goal is to always make sure we can help you enjoy the things that you love, and that's exactly why Doc gets his stuff protected. Thank you guys very much for checking in. As always, we thank people like Doc and all of our customers for trusting us with some of their most valuable possessions. See you on the next car.